The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has decided to adopt the direct mode of primaries for choosing its candidate for the forthcoming Edo State governorship election. The party's Deputy National Publicity Secretary, Duro Mashako, said a letter of undertaking will be attached to the nomination forms which aspirants are expected to sign to indicate that whatever the outcome of the primary election, they would not go to court. He added that only 1 out of the 29 aspirants has picked the expression of interest and nomination forms, urging stakeholders to work towards pruning the number to a manageable size. APC's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, joins us now to discuss the party's preparations for Edo State governorship primaries and what informed its decision to scrap zoning in Edo State. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, can you tell us why the APC is adopting the direct mode of primary election instead of zoning in Edo State? What informed that decision?
Now, the direct mode of primaries is not an alternative to zoning. Matter of fact, they are not related. You have the direct mode of primaries or the indirect mode of primaries. Now, the direct mode of primaries involves all registered card-carrying members who are in good financial standing with the party to participate at the primaries and to vote for the aspirant of their choice. Now, the indirect primaries is a system where delegates are elected who then participate to vote for or select an aspirant who then becomes the candidate. Under the constitution of our party, both modes are legal and legitimate, and any one of them may be used for the purpose of selecting or electing the candidate of our party. Now, in this case, the stakeholders in Edo State who were in a meeting with the National Working Committee of our party last Monday expressed preference for the direct mode of primaries. And the party considered that, and at the end of the meeting, it was agreed that that will be the mode of primaries for that election, for the primaries in Edo State.
And could you tell us more about this undertaking to be signed by candidates in order for them not to seek court redress post-elections?
No, there's no such undertaking. What the party is simply saying is encouraging all of the aspirants to put the interest of the party first and above their personal aspirations, to work collaboratively to ensure that the process is smooth and that it delivers the objective of having the candidate for the party that enjoys the widest support of members of the party in the state. It's not an undertaking. Nobody is making anyone sign an undertaking, but it is merely the party urging all of these aspirants to, where possible, avoid, areas that will lead them to the court, but rather to explore internal mechanisms for resolving whatever grievances they may have before, during, or after the primaries.
So are you saying that the Deputy National Publicity Secretary got it wrong, when he said that a letter of undertaking would be attached to the nomination forms which aspirants are expected to sign to indicate that whatever the outcome of the primary election, they will not go to court? Are you saying that it got that aspect wrong?
I'm the National Publicity Secretary, and I'm saying to you that we are not requiring anyone to sign undertakings. Rather, we are urging all of the aspirants to, deal as, respectfully, as responsibly, observing, the utmost party discipline, so that at the end of the day, we can have a rancor-free primaries that will produce a candidate that all of the other aspirants, and for that matter, other stakeholders in the party may rally round and support them, in the general election that is upcoming. So the idea is to simply say, look, our party is a democratic party. We're not, trying to twist anyone not to go to court. We're simply suggesting and strongly appealing that they should, put the party's interest first, so that we can have a harmonious outing at the primaries, which energy will then carry forth into the campaigns and hopefully into the election, because it is our desire to win back Edo State come the next election.
And what should we be anticipating before the primaries?
Now, before the primaries, of course, we expect that the aspirants will come forward and, purchase their forms and, go about within the short period of time we have to, make their case before the party members who will participate in this primary and, convince them as to why they should be favored and they should be supported to become the candidate of the party. That is, the normal thing. And then, of course, prepare for the primary itself and hopefully do so with, the utmost decorum and exercising, food discipline and, like I said, observing the peace and ensuring that the process is as rancor-free as possible.
Now, I'm wondering, if this decision not to pursue zoning in this election, if it's okay, with politicians from Edo Central and Edo South senatorial zones who believe it is their turn, to produce the next governor of the state, saying as they've supported other zones, to be in choosing candidates from their region.
Please say that again.
I said, I'm wondering, if this decision to leave zoning out of your primaries this time around, if it's okay with politicians from Edo Central and Edo South senatorial zones who believe it is the turn of their zones to produce the next governor of the state, have their opinions been taken into consideration?
The stakeholder meeting that I referred to of last Monday was an inclusive stakeholder meeting of all the key actors in this engagement in Edo State. It had, the majority, if not all of the aspirants to the office of governor and all of the key officials and leaders of the party. They were all at the meeting. So the decision not to zone is a decision that was taken in the fullest of consultation with these leaders. So I don't believe that this is a concern in Edo State. Everyone who wishes to participate will participate. All we're urging is that people, every individual who is involved should, again, respect the rules of play and play fairly. And as the party has assured, that we will also ensure a level playing field for all of the participants to compete and hopefully have someone who emerges that will enjoy the full support of the other aspirants and the generality of the party, going forward into the general election.
And you mentioned APC wanting to retake Edo State, currently a PDP state right now. How much of a threat is Philip Shuaib? As we do know with the way politics works generally in the state, it's an incumbent versus the new guy. And we know that it's, as you said, Edo State has been under PDP control for quite some time. So how much of a threat is his candidacy?
We don't perceive it as a threat, quite frankly, even though he's the incumbent deputy governor of the state. But as you know, one of the probably memorable legacies of the Obaseki administration in the state is the rift and the rancor and the very, intractable feud between himself and his deputy. So already, both the governor and his deputy are, totally compromised, not just by the feud, but also by their lackluster performance in the governance of Edo State. So, when you look at it from the totality of, all of
Well, that was Felix Morka, the APC National Publicity Secretary. Thank you so much for joining us. We lost signal. We will try to reconnect when we can. I'm hearing that he is back. Mr. Morka, let us know if you can hear us.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Please continue. Yes, please continue as you were briefly cut off.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. I was just observing that Obaseki has done nothing but fight with his deputy governor, who is obviously an aspirant in this in the coming contest, assuming that he's able to win the ticket of his party. So we're not concerned about his incumbency, because I don't think that Shuaib has anything to offer. He barely worked with his governor. They barely accomplished anything, if at all. And, so they have created an atmosphere, that has, promoted a high thirst amongst the people of Edo State for change in that state. So I think that our party has, a very, very massive fighting chance, and we're hoping that come that election, we will prevail.
Under the APC ticket, it seems like there are quite a few candidates that will be vying for the governorship elections, 29 if I'm not correct. And many of these aspirants are assessed on their level of philanthropy, on their level of hard work and dedication to the state. 29 seems like quite a large number. Of course, you're not going to tell us which will be the top candidates, but can you give us an idea of why there would be such a large number of aspirants running under the ticket, and why more wouldn't be streamlined?
Yes, to begin with, we are very happy with the number. It shows that the party is doing well in Edo State. It shows that the party has repositioned to compete strongly for that office. It shows that, the party is healthy, that, people feel like they can come in to engage. I think it attests to the confidence that they have, that the party will be able to provide them the level playing field that they require to, compete to the utmost. So we're very happy about that number. But having said that, again, at this stakeholder meeting that we had, we did again emphasize to them that they may, on their own, without the party seeking to dictate or foist any kind of outcome, that, they're welcome to go back and consult among themselves, to agree to pare down on their own, in an organic fashion, without any hand, both seen and unseen, from Abuja, to mediate that. So if they come back to us, in the end, maybe out of 29, a certain number decide to pick the form and proceed to contest the primary, we also welcome that. So we are very open. If all 29 want to contest, we are ready to offer all of them level playing field, especially given that this mode is the direct mode, where it's not just the electoral college, but where every member who is eligible and qualified will have the franchise to vote and elect whoever aspirant of their choice. So all of those aspirants are in this, and we are ready to manage the process as fairly and as transparently as can be.
Well, Mr. Morka, I'm wondering, how sensitive your party is to the yearnings of the people that you seek to lead in Edo State and even the entire country, because considering the severe economic hardship that Nigerians are going through, and we are even being asked to tighten our belts further and to be patient, the nomination fee, the fee for the nomination form is set at 50 million naira. At a time when things are so hard for Nigerians. What message do you think this sends to the people of Edo State? Especially considering the fact that 29 candidates are vying and are willing to put down that amount of money in this very harsh economic terrain.
Look, this was a point that also came up for discussion, for public discussion, in our primaries when we had the during election, earlier in the build-up to the 2023 election, where this same fee structure was prescribed for those who were seeking to compete for the office of governor. Now, look, we have maintained our position that when you, as a member of a party, of our party, when you seek to compete, to be elected to a high office like that of the governor, we expect that you will have followers and followership, people who support you. We have not said that these individuals must go into their bank account and bring out 50 million naira to purchase, both the expression of interest and the nomination forms. But we're saying, go out to your party members, those you support, who you are hoping will, choose you as their favorite candidate, to actually appeal to them, raise funds everywhere in the world. Aspirants for public office, go raise money. They raise money from those who support them, from those who sort of buy into their vision. That is what we're doing. This is a democracy. If you want to contest and you don't have any money, go. If you're good enough, if you're that strong, you should be able to persuade those who support you to pitch in, no matter how small. 10 naira here, 5 naira there. We carry you through to buying this form. So we're actually trying to promote and strengthen our democracy, not impoverish it.
Well, the criticism is that that high threshold of money really dwindles down the quality of individuals that you get to vie for the governorship elections, and kind of plays into the discussion that our politics are all money driven. It's a money politics. It's those who have the biggest bags. And you do say that, hey, if you have if you have that gusto, get people to support you and put their money together and vie for you. But we also know that that's not really how this works in our system. So it just questions the quality of the candidates that are being put up for nomination and election.
No, I don't think it goes to the question of quality of the candidates. How does it go to the quality of candidates? Now, if you aspire to be, to contest for that office, and these forms cost 50 million naira, like I said, if you have the money and you decide to put out the money, that is also a democratic freedom to put out your own money to buy forms. But if you don't, and you think you have something, good to offer to your people, you may also go and ask for support. Either way, if people support you, that's a statement already that they are buying into your vision and believe in your credibility, in your capacity to vie for that office. Now, you said that this is not the practice. Now that may be true to a degree, but that ought to be the practice, because that is the practice in most advanced democracies where people raise money. Barack Obama didn't have billions or even hundreds of millions of dollars when he decided to vie for the presidency. But systematically, he appealed for funding and he raised the money both to wage the primaries and to wage the general election. So, we all talk about evolving our democracy. This is one aspect, of evolution of our democracy that we can't continue to push down because, yes, it sounds like a lot of money and, people, the average person may not, comfortably come up with such money. But we must begin, I think, to engage these difficult questions, because ultimately that is the direction we need to go. We shouldn't be waiting for anybody to save even 20 million, even if we charge 20 million naira. It's still a lot of money that many people cannot produce. So I don't think it's about the money, it's about how you raise the money. If you have it, you put it forward. If you don't, reach out to your constituents and appeal for their support. I'm quite sure that some of these candidates, aspirants in Edo are doing just that. And we are wishing all of them luck in the upcoming primaries.
APC's National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.